It's the championship match of the Strike Tour team competition, featuring our two semifinal winners in Team Sirius and Team Orion. And it's also our final match of the 2024-2025 Bowling Promotion Tour. Let's go straight to referee Philippe Sionville to kick things off.
This is the last event of the Bowling Promotion Tour 2024. The last event, but not the least. With the final of the Strike Tour, the two opponents are on lane number 6, Team Sirius. On lane number 5, Team Orion. For that final, Team Orion will start. Good luck, everybody. Good luck, Captain. Good luck, Captain. Good luck.
No, you're Captain. Shush. Good luck.
And thank you, Philippe. I believe Joe Crook is pointing out that David Barak is indeed the team captain for Team Orion. And Barak coming through with some clutch strikes in our last match against Team Worlds to edge that team out 225 to 214. So let's see what the Team Orion can do here against Team Sirius. It will be Shane Burton kicking things off for the 5-man Team Orion. This is, of course, Baker competition. Each team member bowls one frame in our 10-frame match. And there's Burton Williams coming up light for a 2-pin. Since Team Orion has 5 members, they'll each bowl 2 frames. And for Team Sirius, with 4 members, Louis Bonnet and Phil Manning will each bowl 3 frames, with Manning finishing the match for Team Sirius. Manning was mugging for the camera earlier, and we've seen Manning come up with some clutch performances in earlier matches here on the Bowling Promotion Tour. And there is a good conversion of the 2-pin there by Shane Burton Williams. And they're off with a spare. We're on the Gateway Arch oil pattern, of course, 42 feet, 9.3 to 1, 26 mils. This is our 4th match on that pattern, so we'll see with practice, we'll see how it carries down. We'll see how the transition treats our players. And here goes Louis Bonnet on the right lane. Teams will stay on their respective lane for the entire match. And there's Bonnet coming up into the pocket a little bit late, and he gets the leaner on the 10. Look at that wiggle. He wobbled it, but he could not knock it down. So that will be a 10-pin conversion for Bonnet. He throws a shot. He likes it. He likes it. Running it out. Oh, come on. You got to carry. Well, let's have a closer look at this pin action here. Watch the 6-pin. Goes to the gutter. Comes out. Just nudges the 10, but not quite enough to take it out. So that'll be a 10-pin conversion for Bonnet. And each team will start with 9 spare, assuming Bonnet converts, which he does, no problem. All these bowlers, of course, have bowled 18 games of qualifying at various locations around France. We are here for the final at Bowling La Sphère in Fontaine, Comte, about 200 miles southwest of Paris for our televised finals. Of course, we have Kenny Biot leading the qualifying by about 10 pins a game. David Barak was second with 225, and Phil Manning averaging 221. So our number 2 and number 3 qualifiers here in this final match. This is Connie Wieser from Netherlands, and he gets the strike. So good second frame there for Team Orion. Look at that form. Good balance there. Right up the track. You can see everybody playing pretty much the same place in this oil pattern, the Gateway Arch. There's a pretty defined wet-dry right up the track. And you'll see Phil Manning do the same thing here. Here's his first shot. Comes up a little bit late. Oh, wow. That ball did not turn through the pins very well at all. It deflects and almost leaves a 5-7. But it takes out the 7, and the hands go up for the 5-pin. And feels like even the cameraman has his hand up. So it will be an expensive proposition should Phil Manning miss this 5-pin. He'll have to buy a drink for everybody who has their hands up. But he goes after the 5-pin, and he does indeed miss it. He missed on the right. He took his spare ball. It did not hook at all. It went straight by the 5-pin. And that's going to be an expensive night at the bar for Phil Manning. But I'd say more and maybe worse than that, he's got an unforced error for his team. So there's an open frame in the second and a An expensive bar bill and an open for Phil Manning. Very uncharacteristic. I think he just kind of rushed that spare and he kind of ran through it and unfortunately goes 9 miss. So that's going to give Orion the early 12-pin lead. And let's see what they can do with it. Can they double up here? Here's Joe Crook trying to get us back on track here in this match. And Joe Crook comes up a little bit late into the pocket, does hit the pocket mixer 7-pin. He almost leaves a 5-7. So I think you're definitely seeing some carry down on this pattern. We're seeing some balls not quite make the corner on the back end. You see a lot of purple hammers, a lot of urethane, and what that does is it's what we call stretches the pattern, puts the oil down further down towards the pins, so balls just don't turn through the pins as hard as they normally would when the lanes have been freshly oiled. So that's what you're starting to see some of that. Joe Crook will go to a plastic white dot, and he'll go cross lane right at that 7-pin and converts. So that will give Team Orion 40 in the second and a 12-pin lead. We've seen just 1 strike and 5 shots so far. So indeed, I think we're seeing some transition in this oil pattern. Now we'll look for Tom Levant of Sirius to come up, the left-hander. And two-handed, and there's a purple hammer. Comes up and around and gets the scrambler. But again, he leaves a corner pin, so you're seeing a lot of scrambling corner pins here, characteristics of balls not finishing as hard as they otherwise might. That ball comes up a little bit late to the pocket, leaves the 10-pin for the left-hander. He's got to go cross lane straight at this 10-pin, also throwing a white dot. And no trouble on the conversion there, so good shot there. And now Team Sirius down only by the mark, and the 5-pin, uncharacteristic miss of the 5-pin by Phil Manning. And no trouble on the spare there for Levant of France. Now back to Team Orion. Be looking at Frenchman Arnois Ambiel. We've seen a lot of him in these matches. He's staying with the purple hammer, and again, one of the reasons the oil pattern stretches down is the urethane does not flare as much, does not absorb the oil in the ball, and he leaves a 2-pin. So once again, light in the pocket. We now have 7 shots and 1 strike. So that definitely is reflective of some transition on this oil pattern. And he thought he might get there. He breaks up the bucket, which is good, leaving only the 2-pin. And would not expect any trouble with this 2-pin for Arnois. And indeed makes the conversion. So here we are, 11-pin lead for Orion. And we are grinding it out here. And no trouble there on the spare. Now, first look at Gaetan Carew from France. Let's see how he makes out here as this oil pattern continues to transition. Looks like a DNA coil in his hands there. Should have a good surface, a little bit of aggressive surface there. Throws it right up the oil. That's going to go through the beak, though. And that's going to be a 3-6-10 for Carew. I think he got it a little bit left of target and not enough to go crossover. So it settles in right to the beak, so the fairly challenging 3-6-10. Most pros will tell you they do not like shooting this spare at all. And there's another white dot for practice for spare shooting. And he goes after the 3-6-10, converts it beautifully. So good cover there. However, the Orion lead grows to 14 pins now. And let's see if Orion can start putting some strikes on the board. Here comes David Barak. Again, Barak clutch in our last match, striking out to come back and win that match against Team Worlds and Kenny B.O. Kenny denied his 3rd title here on this bowling promotion tour. And Barak Two-hander turns it up, gets it out to the dry, so he really gets the corner there, gets the ball to come off the dry and go through the pins the right way to give us our second strike of the match. Second strike for Team Orion and second strike overall of the match. Team Sirius yet to strike. That ball goes through the pins perfectly. All right, here we go. Sirius back to Louis Bonnet, again with only 4 members. Bonnet will bowl the 1st, 5th, and 9th frames. And there's Phil Manning. He'll bowl the 2nd, 6th, and 10th frames. Let's see if Bonnet can get this figured out. He gets it out, comes up a little bit light, and mixes the pins to get the strike. That's an effective hit. Still doesn't have the hard turn through the pins, but gets the job done by coming up a little late to the pocket. And gimme that first strike for Team Sirius. Gets him on the board. Now Manning will have a chance to get up and double up. But first it's Orion, so now we're back around to the Orion lineup. Everyone taking their second shot, and Shane Burton Williams comes light again. That's the same, basically the same lead he had the first time. Again, the ball sailing through the break point, doesn't make the corner, and leaves the 2-5. And he goes cross lane, converts the 2-5. Good cover there. But again, no doubles. We've only had 3 strikes in 6 and 5 and 11 attempts. And here we go again. Can Sirius double up? This is going to be a huge shot for Phil Manning. Can he get some redemption off that missed 5-pin and get his team within a mark by striking here? Gets it up the lane and goes a flat 10. Doesn't quite get it to carry. And again, the ball not turning through the pins very well. He goes straight at it, straight at it, straight. Look at the ball. Let's see how the ball deflects to the right there. And then the 6-pin drops in the channel, so cannot come up with a double. And Manning will go across lane and converts the 10-pin. So again, still a 14-pin lead for Team Orion, and we're moving into the 7th frame. I'd like to very much thank Storm for sponsoring our Women's Series, and Cubica AMF very much for their continued sponsorship of the Masters Series. Talk about some previous champions in a minute here. Here's Corne Visser of the Netherlands, his second shot. He struck the first time and he struck the second time. 2 strikes in a match without a lot of strikes. Corne Visser finds 2 strikes here and sets his team up for late in the match. That stroke right up. He gets the mixer, gets the 4, 5, and 7 to go. And again, we've only had 1 ball go really super flush through the pins, and that was David Barak's shot. Everyone else is fading away as they get to the pocket, not quite having that turn through the pins that you're looking for. And the 2-handed lefty comes up, turns it up. There's a good shot. That one turned through the pins just fine. It was Tom Lamont. Watch how this ball goes through the pins. Doesn't deflect too much. Carries the 7 and a much-needed strike for Team Sirius. We're hanging around here. These teams, it was really, once again, just that missed 5-pin, pretty much the difference in the match so far. No team has been able to double, and that's been the only open. It was from Phil Manning on that 5-pin. Here comes Joe Crook. Can he double up for Team Orion? Big shot here. Big shot for Joe. Takes it to the dry, turns it up, and slaps the 10 for the double. Huge shot for Joe Crook. That's the one he was looking for. Watch this stroke. He gets through the ball so nicely. Ball turns up just enough to slap the 10, and that's what you're looking for. He probably made a little move right, and he got through that ball very well. That's one of the best shots we've seen Joe throw in all of these championship matches. And now it is Gaetan Carew with that DNA coil. Can he match the double? Almost essential now. They're down by 24 to get back to where they were only down by 14. Carew gets it to the track, turns it up, and he strikes. So now we're striking. Good shot there by Gatton to keep Team Sirius in this match. And very important strike there. Nice stroke. Doesn't overthrow it. Strokes through the shot. The ball has a chance to turn through the pins. Carries the 10. And a huge double for Team Sirius at just the right time. So 239 available for Team Orion, 225 available for Team Sirius in terms of max scores. And here's Arnois Ambiel. Can he strike? No. He catches the dry and turns through the beak for a 7 count. And that's going to give some count back. So now the lead is only going to be 11. And Ambiel needs to convert this to keep their lead. Very important spare here. Not an easy spare for Ambiel. He gets up and makes the conversion. Great shot there under pressure. And that was a wonderful conversion by Arnois. Comes up right exactly where you need it on the 3-6-10. And now, should Louis Bonnet be able to strike here in the 9th, we will have a 1-pin match. They're down by 11. A strike here gets it to 1. The most important shot of all these matches. He gets it out, turn it up, and he gets the strike. Great shot. Key shot there by Louis Bonnet. We've got a 1-pin match going into the 10th. Look at him get around that shot. He hit it with everything he had. Gets the ball to go through the pins just the right way. Yes, sir. That's 3 in a row for Team Sirius coming through in the back half of this game after struggling early on. And now it's David Barak, anchor player, 10th frame, 216 available for his team. Gets it out, and as usual, David Barak slams the pocket with a great shot. So they still have the lead by 1. They can shoot 216. However, Sirius can get up and shoot 225. So Sirius cannot be shut out. But if Barak can get this hit and the next one, he can force Phil Manning to come up and throw a double in the 10th to claim this title. Once again, right down to the 10th frame. And we've seen Manning and Barak perform in these situations, so expecting some fireworks here. We need another one here from David Barak first. Look at those eyes. Takes his time. Strokes through the shot. Turns up. And bang! Another strike for David Barak. He has done nothing but perform in the 10th in these Strike Tour team matches. Watch this ball turn off the dry. Comes through the pins. Nothing but net. Shrapnel. Beautiful shot there by David Barak. Amazing performance here at the late stages of these team matches. And proving that he is the anchor bowler that you want in that position. Thank you all for watching these matches. It's been my privilege to bring them to you. And we will look forward to the 2026 season of the Bowling Promotion Tour. And Barak needs 10 here. Yes, sir. Now it's up to Phil Manning. He is going to have to double. One strike will not do it. One strike will put him in the 2 teens. 2 strikes put him in the 220s to win the title. So it's all down to Phil Manning. He left that 5-pin, and then he left a weak 10. Can he get this ball to go through the pins the right way? He doesn't have the best reaction, but can he overcome it to come through and win the match? Gets it out into the dry, and he flushes the first one. Huge shot by Manning, but he needs another one. And Manning has come through in so many of these matches. Look at this shot. He says, gets it out to the dry, turns through the pocket perfectly. That's 4 in a row for Team Sirius. And now it's very simple. Strike, you win. Don't strike, you lose. This is the shot. Here he comes. Take a minute, take a breath. And Phil Manning getting ready to try to claim this title for Team Sirius. Needs a strike here. The count is irrelevant. He just needs this strike. Wastes no time, gets up, makes the shot, turn up a little bit, and he gets the slap 10 for the back 5 for Team Sirius, and they are going to come through for the Strike Tour Team Championship. Wow, what a finish. Unbelievable. Manning, after missing the 5-pin, had his team down just about the whole match. They take the lead in the 10th, and bang, gets him into the 220s. And now he just needs 2 pins. He does have to keep the ball on the lane to win the match, but back 5 for Team Sirius, an amazing performance. He does get the ball right down the lane, and he gets the 10, so beautiful finish by Team Sirius. Congratulations, guys. What a finish, what a match. And that will make buying all those drinks for Phil Manning a little bit easier to take. And congratulations to Team Sirius, an amazing match and great performance by David Barak. He's obviously a little dejected because what a performance he put in. And there's the second shot by Manning. He says, yes, give it to me. Congratulations, Phil Manning, coming through with some fantastic performances here. And great to see all this fantastic players. Manning actually finished second in the AMF stepladder. So our final 224 to 216. Just a quick recap of the match. All you need to know is the back 5 strikes for Team Sirius to claim the title. And as we recap the season very quickly, it was Kenny B.O. and David Barak capturing the men's doubles, Elisa Hiltunen and Pepe Consteri capturing women's doubles. In the mixed doubles, it was Yvonne Rhodes and Phil Manning. Women's stepladder was claimed by Elisa Hiltunen. Pepe Consteri won the youth stepladder. And, of course, Kenny B.O. dominated the Cubica AMF Masters stepladder, defeating Phil Manning in that final. Thanks, everybody, for a great season. We'll see you back for the 2025-2026 Bowling Promotion Tour. And here is Marc Chavet's interview.
Well, the post-match interview, what a final that was as we welcome on deck the captain of Team Sirius, W.O.N from Belgium. He had the record in the semifinal here, the highest scoring performance, 267 with the team in the semifinals. He is the first 2-time Strike Tour winner as well, making history one bowl at a time. So, Louis, obviously a tremendous performance, great accomplishment. What a team it was, what a match. And it all came down again to Phil the Machine Manning holding his own, able to deliver the payload, and for you it was just an emotional roller coaster all throughout the performance.
Une émotion très grande aujourd'hui, une grande équipe. On a montré qu'on avait les tripes pour y croire jusqu'au bout. Une équipe franchement ultra motivée malgré une erreur en début de partie. On a montré que tant que le match n'est pas fini mathématiquement, tout est possible. On l'a vu que ce soit avec Tom Levent qui est le joueur le plus jeune du tour, qui a montré que la pression il savait la gérer. On a eu un petit coup de mou en début de partie, mais vers la 4e frame, on a remobilisé un peu les troupes en disant qu'il y avait moyen d'aller chercher. Il fallait rester focus. On l'a fait, donc c'est une immense fierté, que ce soit pour moi, pour la Team Sirius, et surtout pour la Team Vice, parce qu'en tant que représentant Vice Belgium, je la dédie à tout le staff Vice.
Well, so obviously Lewis extremely emotional, just walking through the entirety of the match that he just won with style, with the entirety of the team, walking through the process. The first 4 frames were still in the doubt. After frame number 4, they were talking amongst team members, just trying to find a way to get back in the swing of things, carrying the intensity, the momentum there as well. It was quite noisy up until frames 4 or 5, and then afterwards everyone's focused on the task at hand. Very pleased to see the young guns as well perform the way they did with the 14-year-old future superstar, rising star right now, maybe a shooting star in the very near future. So W.O.N once again establishing the record. As we welcome on deck here as well, our partner for the Strike Tour. This is Jonathan Lahaye, indeed the official partner who's going to hand out the pin to the captain of the winning team, Team Sirius, Jonathan Lahaye, handing it over to W.O.N, record holder, 267, the greatest televised performance in the semifinals with the team, and Jonathan Lahaye handing that one off in style for the team. team. Obviously, Phil Manning got these strikes when they mattered, but also missed pin number 5. And he's getting ready to pull his credit card out and indeed treat everyone to a beautiful drink. The time for us to get a reaction with Jonathan here. Jonathan, it was a beautiful day. Strike Tour, obviously, we just felt this atmosphere is so much different. The Strike Tour is all about having fun. It's all about having a good time and focus when you need to focus to go and get the W. That's exactly what Team Sirius did today.
Yes. C'était vraiment une très belle journée effectivement pour Vice. On est très fiers de pouvoir représenter cet événement depuis 4 ans. On a vu une équipe Sirius qui s'est battue jusqu'au bout, qui a été chercher sa victoire, et une équipe Orion qui aurait pu également gagner. C'est vraiment une fierté de pouvoir être présent ici sur cet événement.
So Jonathan telling us it was a great day for Vis, indeed the partner who partners with the Strike Tour. Just a tremendous final as well between Team Orion and Team Sirius. It could have gone either way. Just great to see how some of the players are capable of revitalizing and re-energizing midway through the match, and that's exactly what Sirius did to go and get the win with Captain Bonnet and of course Phil Manning, who had basically the power of delivery in his hands, capable of getting these strikes when he needed to get them. So thank you so much for the kind words indeed. 4 years already partnering with our friends over at Team Vis, and that's how we're going to pull the curtain down on another successful event here, the Bowling Promotion Tour organized by Bruno Bidone. Thank you so much, guys, for being with us here on One Sports.